Welcome back from our break. We are back and we are covering the Diddy trial. Let's make sure we are live on 3 platforms right now. Welcome YouTube. Let me make sure Facebook is coming in. Y'all, I was trying to fix these. Okay, I fixed it, y'all. Welcome Facebook. And let's make sure we're live on Instagram. We should be. Come on. Are we live? Yes? No? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. If the sound is coming in good on... Okay, it just hadn't caught up on Instagram, but it looks like we're live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Welcome to each and every one of you all. Like I said, we are back from our break, and y'all, oh, girl. I believe, and this is in my opinion, I believe the defense have proven Rico. I really do. I went back and I read some of the transcripts, plus reading some other articles. I believe they've proven Rico. Now, what I've learned that Diddy's mule, y'all know I'm saying DRUG. I'm not gonna say it, but I believe his mule, he will not be testifying on today. It will not be until tomorrow. The summary witness that the government has called is going to continue on the rest of today and part of tomorrow. And then Brendan Paul will come in. Y'all, but the things that are being discussed, oh my Lord. That's all I can say. So before we get into the transcripts, I am going to play this. So y'all just hold for one moment. As you come on in, make sure you hit the like button. Please like this particular broadcast. Y'all know this is something that I really don't do. I haven't been covering the Diddy trial, but I've been watching it. And I was like, well, I'll be dadgummit. If I'm going to sit up here and watch it, I might as well cover it because this makes no sense. So I am covering the Diddy trial starting now. And it's so crazy because the prosecution is getting ready to rest their case. They should probably be done by Thursday, either Thursday or Friday, because I believe the defense is supposed to pick up on Friday. Supposedly. Okay, I'm going to play this. Okay, y'all just hold on for just one moment. And then I'm going to let y'all see this. Okay, let me share my screen. Y'all come on in. Hit the like button and we just gonna get on to it. We ain't gonna be here too long. All right.
Number 2, I think the government really felt like this was a strong vote for Diddy. And listen, they chipped away at this thing. Finally, they combed through his transcripts and he's gone and he has been replaced. Now, let me tell you what I've noticed about the jurors. I don't know, y'all. I'm gonna just say this. The jurors that are remaining that I can count and I'm looking at, they seem to be very astute men with a high level of intellect, married men for the most part. And when you think about why is that important, the psychology and the behavior of the jury, if these are astute married men, you probably can assume that they're going to be somewhat very protective over family, right? And if we can assume that, not all, because we don't know for sure, but if we can assume that these men have children and some may even have daughters, of course they're going to find a problem with this activity, whether it was consensual or not. So I think the defense is in trouble. I think it's a huge move on the behalf of the government. Listen, this is legal chess, and the government just made a huge move, right? So right now on the witness stand, let me back up a little bit. Let me back up. The defense actually cited their concern of the government replacing, this is the judge's words, replacing a Black man with a white juror. And they just kind of made the argument, this has a racial undertone to it.
So let me pause this right here. We already know that juror number 6 has been replaced. We all saw already from the last live, we knew that the defense wanted a black juror to come up front, to be the next one. But that's not the way they do things. It is the next alternate, whether they're white, black, Indian, Hispanic, Chinese, whatever their nationality is. If they are next up on deck, then they are next. So apparently, the next person on deck, I believe, is a white male who's up next. The defense stated that they wanted another black man to replace juror number 6. The judge said no, because you got to go by rules, and so it was the next alternate. And so that's how Queen Sheba was saying. Make sure you all go and follow Queen Sheba. Some of the same things that I have alluded to, she has been saying about this is much larger than what they are showing you. There are a lot of things they are not saying, but it's like it's all out in the open. It's just they're not saying certain things. So she's going to drop some nuggets on here, and I want y'all to listen to this. Let me see.
Ananya
Okay, that's her.
Fanka is on the stand. She works for the U.S. Attorney's Office. She's been there for 2 years. She's a paralegal specialist, and she's what they call a summary witness. And her job is to review charts to make sure that everything is accurate. She checks the accuracy. She reviews the evidence. She makes sure that it aligns with everything that was presented in the courtroom. This includes text, audio, photos, videos, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They asked her, can you kind of describe the first exhibit that we're placing here on the video screen? She said, this is a timeline chart.
What I will say is, although we were going through the transcripts, some things are not going to be on the transcripts because he's not a mandated court reporter. He's just a reporter that works for a news place there in New York, for a press, and he's not getting everything. So that's why I give different perspectives, because you're going to hear some things that she bring out that did not come out in the transcripts.
I reviewed this to, once again, establish the accuracy of it. These are they said, what's in it? She said text messages, multiple text messages, y'all. Devices. They said, whose devices? KK's devices, Diddy's devices. They said, who is KK speaking to? Is she speaking to just one person? She says, no, she's not just speaking to one person. She's speaking to different people. Y'all, when I tell you, baby, this is probably the RICO. This establishes the enterprise. If I were the jurors, and I'm looking, let's just say some of the jurors are like you, they're waiting for proof. They're needing to hear evidence. Today is that. It's a very technical argument. And what she did with the devices that they confiscated, that the feds confiscated from not only KK, 2 devices from KK, but also 1 device from Diddy. They placed everything in chronological order. The first screen, they said, how many pages are here? And they're talking about March 18, 2016. She said there's 30 pages. So she reviewed them, placed in order, and they're organized by date, time zone, record type, from, and to. And they said, when you say from, what do you mean? She said that the sender. To, that's the receiver, right? She also talked about, and give me a second, contents, the contents of the record. Like it'll say the contents, that they spell out the text messages, and also the names of where. So we got Brendan Paul, we got Ryan Lopez, we got KK, we got Jane Doe, we have Diddy. Now this is where they're doing a really good job, because they mentioned Brendan's name on purpose because he's scheduled to take the stand today on the behalf of the government. And remember, Brendan Paul was actually the guy that was caught with the drugs. I think the pink powder. He was arrested. He did do his time, so he will be testifying. And then Ryan Lopez sends a text to KK. This is really good, right? Because this is where your enterprise comes into play. They're highlighting KK as a key party of the enterprise, right? That she's a key component. She is the go-to. Not only is she a go-to, what they're establishing, she's a go-to for Diddy.
That's
She's a
right.
go-to for Jane Doe. She's a
Yep.
go-to for the assistants of the assistants. Everybody goes to KK to fix things.
Didn't I tell y'all from last week's testimony when Diddy's assistant found a freak off video on one of the iPads? He went to Diddy first, and KK got wind of it, and she was like, "No, that's not the chain of command. You come to me first." KK was running it. And so I know somebody was in the chat saying that I think it was Gigi saying that KK was not a co-conspirator. Oh, she is. She just hasn't been named yet. But oh, she is. Oh, honey. Yes.
She's a go-to for money. She's a go-to. She was actually a go-to for Jane Doe. At one point in 2024, Jane Doe received a text from one of the escorts. It was Cabral, the guy that's in ATL. He tried to exploit her for money, right? He told her, I'm gonna leak one of these freak off tapes. Jane Doe called KK, texted KK, and expressed her concern. KK says, I'll fix it. I'm gonna fix it. He's not gonna leak anything. And guess what? She fixed it. Cabral was going to go to a major media outlet, and he gave Jane Doe a specific amount of time to run him that money, or the tape would be released. So KK.
Do y'all remember last year? I remember it was last year when everybody started getting wind of what was going on with Diddy, and they were saying that there was being a tape, and I spoke about it on here. There was a tape that was being shopped around, and certain media outlets was going to release it. Nobody ever, and some people have said they have seen the tape. I believe this is what was talked about in court today about this particular tape. Mm-hmm.
Actually said in those text messages, I will fix it. So Ryan sends a text to KK, and he says, listen, give me 1 second.
Her hair is so pretty.
Thank you for your patience. So what he said is, listen, I spotted a cowboy in the lobby. The cowboy, he's talking about an escort from Cowboys and Angels, and they typically use this agency to get male escorts, right? And he tells KK he's easy to spot visibly. Like he's standing out like a sore thumb in this hotel. You can tell he's an escort. So then KK says, how long do you think he's going to stay awake? And then Lopez responds, probably until tomorrow, child, probably another 24 hours, right? Now, this is where they tie KK into the sex trafficking. And not only the sex trafficking, in my opinion, but also the enterprise, because they are able to establish, number one, her knowledge, her position in the enterprise, because the assistants are actually texting and reporting to KK, running down to KK the details of what's happening. He's in the hotel lobby. The room will be ready in 30 minutes. Where do I get this? I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to get the Astroglide, baby oil. Jane Doe wants this.
Now, remember when I was saying that this was so much like a well-produced production? Like they were, like the escorts was waiting downstairs, waiting to go up into the room, got ready for one woman, for Jane Doe? Nah. And y'all gonna hear, let me just let this play.
Diddy wants that. I got the snacks. I got the food. So they're doing a really good job of establishing her presence, right? And her role in the sex trafficking, the freak offs, and also the enterprise, right? Yeah. They also established that KK, through this expert witness, just reading the text messages, that KK actually sets up hotel nights. Hotel nights is freak offs, right? And then they focus on March 25th, 2024, where Homeland Security seized all of these devices. And I told you it was one phone from Diddy and then 2 phones from KK. So they play an audio. And the audio that they played is an audio that I discussed with you last week of KK confronting Jonathan Perez. Jonathan Perez took the stand last week. In the secret audio, KK is actually confronting Jonathan because the assistant Shaw, they have their own devices, they have their own iPads, but Jonathan found a freak off video between Diddy and Jane Doe on the iPad. So KK And the rest of the team became very nervous. And so she's really drilling him about how did you gain
Mm-hmm.
access to this video? Tell me again, where were you? Who was in the room? Were the maids there? Were the chefs there? So they play
Yep.
this audio. Um, they also show a tape of KK texting somebody named Joey to set up the room and detailing how long before they can get in the room. And by they can get in the room, you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Jane Doe. I'm talking about Diddy and whomever else, right? The escort. So then I made it my own personal note where I made my own note in court where I say, or I notated Jane Doe actually called KK. Oh, I told y'all that when the escort threatened.
First of all, I want to know, for those of you all who are watching, even if you're watching this on a replay, how many of you all feel like what you have heard thus far, if you've been listening to this trial ever since the very beginning, listening to the different witnesses, and then everything that what's coming out today has already been talked about prior. It's just showing the evidence now. How many of y'all believe that the prosecution has enough evidence to prove RICO charges on Diddy? Can he be convicted off of what you know right now? And they're not even finished. Do you think he could be convicted? Put a 1 in the chat if you do. Put a 2 if you're not convinced. And I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna let this play and I'll go back and check the comments.
To release the tape if she didn't give him any money. Now, here's what the next move should be, in my opinion, on the behalf of the defense. KK, you got to take the stand. You got to make it make sense. And I'm not sure, I'm not saying that it's going to sway or change public opinion or even change the opinion or the consensus of the jury, but she got to take the stand.
That's right.
You have to make that strategic move because right now the government is doing a hell of a job of just, man, they're stacking things up. Now we're starting, I think they just warmed us up. I know a lot of people were like, they don't have anything. And I told you, be careful that we don't become overly emotional with this thing. You just got to wait and sit it out. And it doesn't have to be a masterpiece. Remember, I said it doesn't have to be a masterpiece. Their job is just to kind of stroke the canvas, and that's what they're doing. So the next move, I believe KK should take the stand. And I made a note that KK communicated with all parties involved, including the talent. Now, let me say this. Jane Doe was not a victim.
Do y'all hear this?
Jane Doe was not a victim. She is actually hired help, and she was considered a part of the talent.
Dang.
I'm going to come back. I'm going to talk about that tonight. I need to go into great detail about that tonight. Did you know that Jane Doe was already participating in free costs? She was an industry girl. The difference between the free costs that she participated in before is that Diddy treats his talent very nice. The benefit package is a little bit more extensive than some of the other rappers offer. This is an entire thing. This is not anything new. This is what they do. And actually, Diddy is not the head that sets it up. I wish I could say who it is, but I'm not.
First of all, how many of y'all think, and this is all alleged, is nothing that we know, who do y'all think is the head over this mass production of freak offs? Who do y'all think is the head? Now, we all know that Diddy did not own Bad Boy. It has been brought out during these court proceedings that Clive Davis owned Bad Boy. Diddy just had a distribution deal. Yeah, that I was like, well. So everybody has always been swirling around saying for years that Clive Davis is, y'all know. So do y'all think the head person is Clive Davis? I know when I was in some people's chat, people were saying that. I don't know. It make you wonder.
He's not the head. He's the fall guy. But Jane Doe he's a hired help. She's a professional. This is how she's made her money prior to meeting Diddy. This is how she's going to continue to make her money after Diddy. Period, point blank. This is what she does. I just wanted to put that out there. I've been telling y'all that. But I think what became confusing for her is that he treated her better than most industry guys would typically treat her. And as a result of his elevated treatment, she fell in love.
I'm doing good. How are you?
To appreciate him. She grew to thank him, to want more of an emotional connection for him. And it's going to be very important that y'all keep that in mind, okay? I'm going to talk about that tonight. But let me continue to go on. All right. They also play an audio where Diddy is talking to KK. He said, can you see about the hotel? How long is it going to be before the room is ready? They played a second audio of Diddy talking to KK. He said, listen, I need $10,000. KK responds, okay. Then they played another audio of Diddy. He said, listen, man, I need you to take care of what you need to take care of. KK responds, Enterprise, y'all, yes, it's been handled. It's been handled. Then Diddy sends a text to KK and say, I need $1,800 for flowers. I need $1,500 for drugs.
Y'all know what the flowers was for.
For the drugs, okay? Y'all, Enterprise, Rico. Now we're establishing who the key players are. Because some
I
of you
ain't
felt
talking about
like it
no
was not a
real
strong case
flowers.
because there hasn't been more than one. There hasn't been additional parties identified outside of Diddy, right? So then Diddy sends a message to tell her everything is approved. Sends her an approval for her to spend the money, how he told her to take the money and spend the money, how he told her, how to spend it. And then they focus on May 2017. This is exchanges between Cassie and KK. Listen, this is where it gets messy, but this is where it gets messy for the defense because we're not talking 2016. Remember, the incident in the hotel took place in 2016. This is a year later where Cassie's actually texting KK and she says, I'm done. I'm done. I can do this, but I cannot handle the violence. There is no reasonable explanation of him for me to get drugged and pulled by my hair. Okay. So this is another instance of them establishing KK's involvement. Remember when I say every.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this right here. And we're going to get back to the transcript so we can go ahead and get with the program. I see someone in here asking about Jazz. Y'all do know Jazz is a grown woman, right? Jazz got her own life. Child, Jazz don't live here. Jazz don't even live in this state. All right, let's get back to, here it is. Okay, boom. Now we left off when they went to break. And I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go ahead. We're going to run through it. And by that time, they should be back from court. They may already be back by now, but I don't know. All right, so we left here when they went to break. 10:55, they restart. Mr. Sanker, what does this exhibit show? Sanker, messages of Sean Combs and Damian Butler, a.k.a. D-Rock, and Mia. Now, y'all remember who Mia was. She was the assistant. D-Rock is security. Turn off the screens to the public and press. Here we go again. We can't see nothing, girl. Please read D-Rock messages. Sanker as D-Rock. Love you, man. And if you need a friend, I'm here. As Combs, I'll call you back. Talking to the kids. Sanker as D-Rock to Mia. Where are you? Asa as Mia. Virginia Beach. Girl. Sanker. D-Rock texts her number to Combs. Asa as Mia to D-Rock. I didn't have my phone. I was scuba diving. Sanker as D-Rock. We're opening up a new restaurant on the 17th. He says he doesn't want anything from you. Asa as Mia. Super smart to stay in your bubble. Asa as Mia. She said, I'm on this island off the coast of Honduras. As D-Rock. I love to hear about Honduras. Let me know how I can send you something. Asa as Mia. I never asked for anything. Sanka as supposed to be D-Rock. He said, I'm allowed to send my sister a gift. Y'all remember who Mia was. I don't know Mia's real identity. Mia was Diddy's assistant. Remember, she was saying that Diddy raped her. Remember that? But she continued to work for him and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, her. Let's see. Asa, did you have any other involvement in this case? Sanka, no. Asa, no further questions. No further questions. Judge, Miss Geragos, I'm probably saying that wrong. Combs, Terry Geragos, Miss Sanker, this message from Damian Butler to Sean Combs. Let's pull up the exhibit. Line 363, days earlier, the legal filing. Let me make sure y'all can hear me. Yeah, y'all hear me. Okay, boom. Let's go back to it. Combs, Geragos. I guess that's his name. Geragos. Please read Nat more. Sanka as Nat. The article could have been worse. They are calling it a break-up fight. Geragos. Let's read some messages not included in the chart, queuing them up. Combs, Geragos, Jane writes, I can be dropped off at my building front desk. And KK writes, he speaks directly with PD. I don't deal with him, laugh out loud, right? Sanka, right. Geragos, Jane writes to KK. Y'all know this is Jane Doe. Writes to KK, pulling up to the airport, smiley face. I'm excited to surprise him. Now, this is showing, I don't know if y'all can see it, but this is showing KK's involvement. How she, like, everybody went through KK for everything. You can see it. And that's why this summary witness is verifying through these text messages and voice recordings right now. Combs, Garagos, may I cover with Asa Foster? Judge, of course. Jurors, while we wait, I'm going to stand up and stretch. You may as well. Child, I need to stand up too. Combs, Garagos, I think we need to shut off the screens for the public and press. November 22nd, 2023, between Jane and KK, right? Sanker, yes. Garagos, Jane said, I'm not doing any more hard partying. Then this one about 3 years of wasted time. Ooh. Combs, Garagos. Here's KK to Mr. Perez asking, how does he look? And Mr. Perez replies, shockingly good. Better than before, right? Sanker, yes. Garagos, nothing further. Judge, next government witness. Another special agent about more charts. These about certain meetings. Charts being shown is about meeting in the London hotel involving Sean Combs, Cassie Ventura, and Jules. Chart shown lists flights taken by meeting participants, including Jules, Theodore, aka Jules, and Cassie Ventura. Asa, special agent on the chart. Combs, defense. Objection. Judge, sidebar. Child, they don't want this information out, do they? Sidebar over. Judge, Miss Johnson. When you say attended, do you mean to say the people concerned appeared from records absent a video to have attended? Special agent, yes. Who were the participants in this chat? Jules and Sean Combs. You read Jules. As Jules, he said, I'm available Friday through Sunday, whatever flight works. Which one? Asa asked Combs. Friday at 4. Girl. Baby, they proving this Rico. Where are the flights between? Y'all look. Where are the flights between? Special agent, LA and JFK in New York. Do document retention policies impact your ability to get documents? Special agent, yes, I cannot get these records. Lunch break. So they were on lunch break. All right. With the jury out, Judge, shall we discuss Mr. Brendan Paul now? Asa, better tomorrow morning. So, like I said, Brendan Paul will not be testifying on today. Which was the UGG mule? The special agent will be on all day, even into tomorrow. Then Mr. Paul, then a final summary witness. Oh, girl. Judge, what witness would the defense be putting on Friday? Combs, Agnafilio. 3 witnesses. Vashta Wilson, Stephen Lynn, something strange pronunciation, and a paralegal in our office. Asa, we don't have any of those charts yet. Judge, in terms of defense expert, I like the Dauber issues teed up. Asa, we'll work on it. Shapiro, we'll be providing the government with a supplemental response to Dr. Hughes' actual testimony. Ooh, y'all remember Dr. Hughes was the one who did the testimony about, what was that? Kind of like a Stockholm syndrome or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. Combs Shapiro, the special agent, and they were a witness for the prosecution. Combs Shapiro, this special agent has no personal knowledge. She is just connecting up exhibits and asking the jurors to interpret them. This is not appropriate for a summary witness. It's just hotel records and flight records. Oh, they don't want this out. Sure, they don't want this out. Asa Comey, Mr. Combs and Jules Theodore were discussing being in the same place at the same time. So if this objection is sustained, we'll just have the special agent read in every text message. Judge, this witness has no personal knowledge. She put together charge. Hmm. Now, break. So they were at lunch and they're back. Now it's 1:56 p.m. Trial restarting. All rise. Jury entering. Judge, Miss Johnson, you may proceed. Asa Johnson, special agent. Have you reviewed American Express records? Oh, girl, they getting with the money now. Special agent, I have. This was to Amex for a flight from Miami for Cassandra Ventura. Special agent. Here was a charge from the London hotel to this Amex account. Whose Amex account? Sean Combs paid with an account at Signature Bank. Lord. Asa, can you read this? Special agent. It's the Trump and Columbus Circle. I'm heading there now. Can you contact the front desk and get the corn channel unlocked? Girl, shut your mouth. Girl, what? You are sick, man. What does Miss Ventura say? She just called him. Lord, we waiting. Lord have mercy. Jesus. Oh, wait a minute, y'all. Wait a minute. Let me show y'all this. This is court art. This was Sean Combs earlier today, surrounded by his lawyers, courtesy to Innocent Press. Girl. So that's Diddy right there in like that, like blue blazer. It looked like a collar shirt. I told y'all he got a lot of attorneys. A lot of attorneys. Mm-mm. Wow. This is crazy. Wow. So while we wait on them to, oh, we got finished quick. While we wait, I am going to play this right here. Wow. And let y'all hear this from an attorney. Hold on just a minute. Here we go. Okay, y'all, hold on. Let me share my screen. Boom, here we go.
Submitted to the court alone is sufficient to prove up whatever it says on that document. So this morning, what happened was the government's summary witness, she was a paralegal for the US government. She was reading into the record a bunch of text messages that were obtained from the seized cell phones from Diddy and from KK. She also played audio recordings. Here's some of the highlights. Number one, child. It gave we have concluded the drug distribution. By concluded, I mean they provided more than enough evidence of the substance distribution. Why? Child, the text message that were in there. Remember, these text messages are considered, how are the text messages being entered not considered hearsay? Well, they're not hearsay because they were obtained, number one, in the course of business, they were obtained lawfully through a subpoena. So, in the same way, like I represent clients in serious auto accidents, like $1 million Uber cases and stuff like that. Well, if you're in a car accident, medical records, right? Medical records are hearsay generally, unless it falls into an exception. Well, because medical records are obtained as business records through the proper courses, that is why it's not hearsay. Similarly, these text messages are not hearsay. Now, all text messages can't get in. No, it has to include either someone who's going to take the stand or a co conspirator. You got to have one of the two. That's how come each of the text messages that they're putting in either have a co-conspirator on it or it includes Jane or Mia or Cassie or someone, hit that like, who's been on the stand. So excellent question, Angel. But that's why the text messages are not hearsay. Also, at the time that they were written, these are text messages like between KK and Diddy. At the time that they were written, they weren't trying to lie on anybody. They were literally conducting a business and conducting affairs. So let me give you an example of some additional juicy stuff from these text messages that goes towards proving the RICO. There was one, it was from KK to Cassie that said, "Hey, Dave," I guess that's one of the substance dealers. "Dave's at your door with the green." Okay, that was like a little something. And then Diddy sends a text message to KK saying, "Hey, Guido's outside." Guido was the substance dealer. I said, "Guido's outside waiting for the 10,000. Can you let Guido in and handle what needs to be handled?" As in getting the substances that Diddy wanted. That Guido, it's already been established that Guido was the substance dealer through other witnesses. Hold on, we got some more. We got some more. And this, stay with me. This isn't it. Also, y'all, if you've been hearing about TriStar, TriStar is TriStar is an entity that does business management. Okay, it manages money for various different artists. They're the ones who did Britney Spears's estate in her conservatorship, and we're supposed to be managing her money. People have all kind of concerns about them. Well, there's a woman named Robin Greenhill. That's who does the accounting, all the business management, all the numbers. I think it's subwriting. Great for Diddy. How Miss Thing is on these text message chains. So Robin, who is supposed to be the accountant, is on a text message chain that says, "Hey, I need approval." This is from Fahim, the security guard. "I need approval for $1,200 for flour." We know what flour is. Flour is cocaine. Flour is cocaine. Is a problem. It says we need $1,200 for flour today. Guido is waiting to deliver it. Guido again is a substance dealer, and then Robin is on the chain. Diddy is on the chain. Fahim and KK, and Diddy says approved. There's another one. This text string is KK, Diddy, oh girl, Robin. It says KK is texting Diddy, and Fahim says, "Well, what do you need?" Diddy responds, "Molly, 15 pills." You think it's a girl named Molly he trying to get? I don't. It's not no girl named Molly, honey. It's not no girl named Molly. And here's the issue. I want to celebrate. It was his birthday this coming up. So this was November 2nd. His birthday is November 4th. Jane is saying, "No more hotel nights. I want to celebrate Diddy like a normal person." She said it got violent recently and that she didn't want it to be that way. And there was no more hard partying for her. This was her providing evidence that she was trying to get out of the lifestyle. What was interesting with that was that happened in November 2nd of 23. That was before.
All right, y'all. We're not getting you know what? I'm just gonna run through this. I'm going to run through this. All right. So here is, let me share my screen. All right. Shout out to Pam and Peanut for actually being on Facebook, hitting the like button. I greatly appreciate you supporting me. It means a lot. I'm just not out here doing this. I'm doing this to create engagement instead of just dragging people. Y'all, there's things we need to know. I mean, yeah. Anyway, so who is in these communications? Special Agent Cassie Ventura and NY Punish, also known as Sheree Hayes. What is it? What is it about? Special Agent, the cost. And this videos. Also, turn off the screen for the public and press. Child, we can't see nothing. Like I said, this is determining that KK was in charge of so many things. This talk about paying for the escorts, the NY Punish, y'all know Punisher. Paying for the escorts. You got Cassie in here. It's talking about different communications between Diddy and Cassie and KK and Jane Doe and D-Rock. All these people, and a lot of these people we have already heard from, like Cassie. We've heard from Cassie. We've heard from Mia. We've heard from Jane Doe. We have not heard from D-Rock. We have not heard from KK. Will they testify? I don't know. We shall see. Somebody posted, that even if the defense beat the RICO, the interstate prostitution charges will be difficult to beat. It's just indefensible, which is true. I mean, you see the prostitution, but a lot of people are saying like, oh, Diddy was just nasty. He was just freaky or whatever. Y'all, prostitution is illegal. It is illegal. This testimony is proving it. It's definitely proving it. It definitely is. Mm, mm. Listen, from that photo y'all just saw right here, he looked like he's stressed. But I do know there were several content creators reporting that Diddy seemed noticeably under the weather on last week, and some of the attorneys seemed like they were under the weather as well. So regardless whether or not he under the weather, child, this is not a good day for Diddy. This is not a good day. And as far as I know, the only person that has showed up to the court is his mama, Mama Combs. I've normally Justin or one of them usually shows up. I didn't see anybody come in after lunch. They sure didn't come in before lunch, so I don't know. They're not there today, which is probably good. Shoot, that his kids don't need to be listening to all of that. Jazz is not at the gym. Jazz has a job, a real job. She's not at the gym. Things are getting interesting. All right, let's go back to it. Let me see. So we are not playing it for counsel since their screens are viewable from the gallery. Oh, Lord. Wait a minute now. Oh, this is outside the court. Dang. Yeah, I wish we could see what is going on in that daggum courtroom. Oh, my goodness. Someone said that Asa is walking the agent through the messages between Cassie and Sheree Hayes, also known as New York Punisher. Y'all know that is the escort, discussing costs and videos likely explicit, leading the court to block the screen from public and press. Girl, just like if you were a jury on this trial and you had to sit there and watch some of these freak-outs. Oh, my goodness. From what some of the content creators were reporting, that some of them were noticeably grossed out, like, like they didn't want to see that. And just think, if you're a juror, like the juror have to sit and listen to all of this, all of it. Oh, snap. Somebody said they turn off the screen, but you could still read the Punisher's book. That's why he did write a book. Oh, girl. Let's see. He hasn't updated yet. It's not updated. Let me see. Normally it's pretty good. Okay. Judge, Miss Johnson, we're not seeing it. Asa Johnson, play from 10:30 to 11 minutes. Okay, Special Agent Penland. I want to direct your attention to line 23. I will read Mr. Combs. You read Miss Ventura. Asa as Combs. Ooh. Y'all see that? Would you want to have a freak off? Oh, Lord. So, oh, Jesus. Jesus. Oh, my God. Y'all see that? You want to throw up in my mouth. Ugh. Hold on, y'all. So we are waiting on an update. That was just 1 minute ago. And let's see. Let me go back to this here. Hold on, just yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm getting ready to share my screen. Boom. Here we go.
They also submitted evidence that Jane was decorating hotel rooms for the freak offs and had flowers and made it look really nice and romantic. That was weird. That was put in by the defense. Okay, but now we're going to conclude, and I want to see your questions about the racketeering evidence. It's racketeering. Thank you for asking. He's charged with racketeering conspiracy. So, what has to be shown, remember, is that we know there's an enterprise. It is called Combs Global Enterprises. But what has to be shown is that people from the enterprise, doesn't have to be every employee, but that some of them, hit that light, guys, that some of them are working together for a common goal. Fun fact, there is no requirement that the goal be profit. People get that wrong all the time. There does not have to be profit as the goal at all. They only need to show that it's a common goal. And here, the common goals are building up and protecting Diddy's brand of him being this powerful music mogul, but also to satisfy his sexual desires. Literally, it is in the indictment. I can't put the indictment on the screen from here, but literally, it's in the indictment. So those two things. So they have to show that
Y'all
he
hear
used
that?
his employees to sometimes do unlawful things.
He used his employees to do unlawful things. Have the prosecution shown that? Yes. Mm-hmm. It's one.
Right? Unlawful offenses in order to either satisfy his desires or protect his image and his brand.
Both of
That's
them.
it. Well, this evidence, what makes it such a stunner for the first time, remember I said prostitution is going to be one of the easiest things to prove? Well, we now have for the first time receipts of the prostitution, and they have been stipulated too. So, specifically, what that means is that the defense cannot come in and say that's not an accurate receipt. He didn't really buy that flight for Jules Thompson, the hooker. No, the defense has already agreed that is a valid receipt. It is accurate. So they showed that one of the hookers, Jules Thompson, I believe he took the stand the first week or what have you. It showed there was a text message string between Diddy or KK and Jules, and there's a payment string. He was paid, the hooker was paid by the accountant, Tony something. I got her last name here. Tony Bias, financial director for Combs Global. You're paying hookers from your corporate account. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Oh yeah, shake that, babe. We're gonna shake. Oh, let me see if I get my hold on. Let me see if I get my Astroglide. Hold on, y'all.
She's right.
It's all the way at the bottom of the bag. Okay. We're gonna shake that Astroglide, y'all. If you're new to the channel, that's usually what I do. I got a little Astroglide in my bag. I keep it, we shake it when there has been bombshells in the case. And transportation, uh, transportation for prostitution. So you just have to show that there are two different states involved. Well, these exchanges specifically, not only do they show that in the text, but then the receipt shows it was for a flight from LA to New York or New York to Miami, from this city to this city. So that is where prostitution, RICO style, has been proven. Substance distribution, RICO style, has now been proven. Why? Because you got the doggone accountant of Combs Global, Combs Enterprises, approving and on message chains that says we need approved 15 Molly pills. Hello, Robin is going to Robin's about to lose her license. Robin is the accountant. Robin is the accountant. It says, so are we saying the government proved all of Diddy's companies through its full? No, they don't have to do that. Let me put that on the screen. That's a great question. Chuck Love is saying, so are we saying?
So make sure y'all go follow Girl Is That Legal? This attorney Simone. She is an attorney. I believe she went to crap. Don't even give me the line. She went to some Ivy League college. I can't even remember. But anyway, make sure y'all go follow her. She really brings a lot of things home and gets you to understand what's actually going on in the trial, especially if you don't know a lot about law.
The government proved all of Diddy's companies throughout its full history were just created for drugs and ass trafficking? Absolutely not. Nor is that even a requirement. You can show that it was created to be a record label, to produce albums, to make music, but so long as he was also conspiring with them to execute crimes, and so long as some, it doesn't even have to be all of them, but execute crimes for a common good. Here, the common good was protecting his brand and satisfying his actual desires. That's what's required. Nope. You could have been a company that did nothing but follow the rules for the last 20 years. If for the last 6 months you guys decide that you want to go pow people and unalive people, then that supports a RICO enterprise. So that's.
So I see people who are commenting on this particular case, and someone says, this case is trash. Prosecutors are having a difficult time connecting this case to a RICO, in which I completely disagree. They are having, baby, they bringing everything in. I know it's been a slow burn, but they had to have all these witnesses come forward to prove the enterprise, the RICO, to prove everything. And this particular witness that's on the stand right now is showing everything the witnesses have been saying on the stand since day one, to me, in my opinion. I'm not a juror, but yeah. So let me share this particular screen here. Let me see. Stop this screen. Come here. Where are we? Oh, crap. We have been on for almost an hour. All right. So Agent Penland says, ask Cassie, call Jules. Can you send me the hotel info? About to smoke. What are you doing? Asa S. Combs. What up? Agent Penland, ask Cassie. I asked him to drive around and we will hit him when we want him to come up. Y'all, this. Hey, so we just waiting. Wow. Somebody said the diddler regulated freak-offs to something romantic like dinner. Shaking my head. That's what I'm saying. Dang. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Something has taken place or something. So now I'm going to stop sharing this, and then I am going to look at some other updates on this particular case right now, because I told y'all this guy don't pick up everything. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Right now, the jury is being shown 2012 travel and hotel invoices text between Combs and Cassie Ventura. The jury was shown a travel invoice sent to Bad Boy Entertainment for a flight for Cassie Ventura from LA to NYC on October the 10th, 2012. Now, Special Agent Delisa Penland then read some messages between Ventura and Sean Diddy Combs on October the 13th, 2012. You ready for it tonight? Combs asked her. Ventura, yes, but she needed to get something. Man, you had all day, all day. It's always something, Combs wrote back in the messages. The jury then saw messages Ventura sent separately to two men discussing times to meet and giving them information for a hotel room in New York. The invoice for that hotel room was reserved under the name Janet Clark and paid in cash. One of the men texted Ventura in the early morning hours of October 14th, indicating he was in the other room. The jury also saw the invoice for that room, which was reserved under the name Frank Black. Y'all know that was another name that Diddy used for his one of his little alias names. And paid for both in cash with an Amex. Several videos recorded on October the 14th were recovered from one of Ventura's devices. The jury watched some of these videos, but the public was not able to see them. Lord. Okay. The person that's on the stand now is Delissa Penland, a special agent with the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, and she's testified in the Sean Diddy trial. Okay, boom. Let's see. Anything else? Has anything been updated? I don't think so, y'all. Let's see. That was 9 minutes ago. Well, y'all, I don't know if I'm going to go live again this afternoon. I may just wait till in the morning to wrap this up. This is just a lot of tedious things that's being covered right now. To me, the RICO charges have been proven. I really want to see Brendan Paul get up on the stand, honey. Talk about some of these Uggs. It's those drugs. Where's the D troll? He ain't gonna be in here. Won't be any trolls in this chat. When I use a streaming source, that blocks out everything. The only time people will even know I'm live is if you've been subscribed to my channel. So that's why I open it up to different platforms. So people will probably come back and watch this on the replay. I think I'm going to close this out for today. Y'all, this is a lot for me. If you want to support the stream, you're more than welcome to send a super chat, super thanks, super sticker, Cash App, share, like, subscribe, and engage into the comment area. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and log up out of here. Y'all, I'm hurting so bad sitting in this chair. I'm in a lot of pain right now. So I'm going to go ahead and log off, and I will see y'all probably tomorrow morning. I don't know. I don't know if I even do coffee and conversation in the morning, especially if I'm going to be sitting down doing this all morning, because I really want to see Brendan Paul. So we will pick back up tomorrow morning, probably about 7:30, and it doesn't take any time to wrap all this up. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll see y'all later. Bye.